Hello boys. I found a new mode for the camera on my phone. It's called cinematic videos. It's kind of fuzzy in the background there. I kind of like it. Anyway, for the shop tour today, there are pictures of this man, Grandpa, your great grandpa. So if you see these black and whites up here, there's the first one right there. That's a bunch of horsemen. These are all in Wickenburg and the surrounding areas. There's another one of a gathered group. Gosh, what's the best way to do that? There it is right there. Pay no attention to the George head there. Mitchell, you know George, that's George Cotselis. He retired, I took that from his party, great guy. There's Grandpa, great grandpa right there. The names on the back, who these guys are, there's some partners, some friends of his. There's Cortana. These are men around a campfire, and behind Master Chief is men on a trail ride. Grandpa was a member of a group, a riding group in Wickenburg, where his brother Bill lived, called the Los Caballeros. Grandpa was a big horseman. I don't know if he was a good horseman, but I had his spurs for a long time. I don't know where they ended up. I can't imagine I threw them away, but anyway, those are the pictures of great grandpa R.M. St. Clair Sr., Los Caballeros in Wickenburg. There is a Los Caballeros museum in Wickenburg. There's also a St. Clair Drive or road or something like that. That's the road that his brother Bill St. Clair and his wife Marion lived on. They had a small ranch, not a working ranch by any means. But yeah, so he'd go out there and visit his brother Bill, and they'd go on these rides. My memory we called him Uncle Bill. He looked almost exactly like great grandpa. They weren't twins, but they looked almost exactly alike. When I was little, I thought it was just a skinnier version of my grandpa. So anyway, his wife was named Marion. There was some scuttlebutt from my mom that Marion had some emotional, mental issues. She's no blood relation of ours, but alcoholism, possibly some schizophrenia, who knows? She seemed like a nice lady to me. So the story you asked me, question you asked me was about, and this may be a surprise to you, the night I worked at a gay bathhouse. Yeah, I just remembered this the other day. I hadn't forgotten it. You know, I had thought about it over the years, but I remember it might be something that I'd want to talk about. Yeah, I worked at a gay bathhouse in Las Vegas, Nevada one night. I was probably 12 years old, 13 maybe. Couldn't have been more than 14. I'm going to settle on 14 because Uncle Alex was with me too. He could drive. He was a little bit older. So I'm going to say I was 14. He was 16. My cousin Stephen, who was gay, as you know, a very flamboyant gay man, very flamboyant. Your mother remembers him. He worked at the Apollo Health Spa, apparently known as the Apollo Baths. Somewhere in Vegas, I don't remember where. I remember going there at night. What we were going to go do there is just, we hadn't seen Stephen in a while, and his mother said, "Why don't you go visit him at work?" So, sure, we drove there and went in to see Stephen. Stephen worked the desk there. It was a small room with a window in it where they'd pass towels out. Stephen would pass towels out to the patrons. Now, I did not know what a bathhouse was. I certainly knew what it meant to be gay or homosexual. I knew Stephen was homosexual. But these men would come up, and out front it said the Apollo Health Club. It didn't say like gay bathhouse. Here it is. And so I didn't know. I thought it was like a health club. So I worked the window for Stephen a few times, handing out towels. Didn't occur to me that it was all men coming through there. Didn't seem big enough to be, looking back, didn't seem big enough to be a gym. I didn't spend any time thinking about it. I was seeing my cousin Steve, and we were hanging out in the office, which was kind of spacious. It actually might have been as big as this room. Had some chairs, and then there was the window. The lighting was nice. It wasn't a Stark. It was it was just a nice evening. We just sat around doing that. There was weren't called drag queens back then, at least not openly, a transvestite. My cousin Stephen described what I had just seen. That's a transvestite. Came to the window, not non-binary, none of that. He was just a transvestite, which Stephen explained to me is a man who dresses as a woman. Okay, I thought that was a fun hobby. I didn't know. It's so funny. It never occurred to me any of this. But a man, a transvestite, I'm just going to use that language because that's the language of this story, came to the window and he asked Stephen for a critique of his outfit. And Stephen, what do they call it in RuPaul's Drag Race? Read him for filth. I thought he looked terrible. And Stephen did too, and just read him for filth. The guy left, and we went back to chatting. At some point, Stephen's friend Billy showed up. I don't think it was his boyfriend. Billy was, even then, I think I knew he was a hustler. He was a good-looking, youngish man. I can see his face to this day. He was clearly addicted to drugs. He's clearly had a hard life. He was perfectly fun. He went to go buy us some beers. And so we sat there, me, Stephen, Uncle Alex, and Billy drinking beers until Stephen's shift was over. At one point earlier in the evening, I wanted something to drink, a soda or something. And Stephen said, here's 50 cents. Or a quarter, or whatever the hell it was. There's a soda machine all the way in the back. So I made my way back there through, I don't know if you know what a series of enfiladed rooms are. Enfiladed means that there's just a door through into one other room, and then you walk through into another room and another room and another room. No hallway, there's just an enfilade of rooms. And I walked through enfiladed rooms. I didn't see anything, lots of men. I didn't see any acts, and so I still was in the dark of what this was. I'd walk in and there's two men sitting there. I wouldn't say in the dark, but in sort of mood lighting. It felt a little sweaty. It felt a little close. I would say hello and keep walking, and they'd say hello. And I think looking back now, they must have been shocked. Here's this 14-year-old kid walking through looking for a soda in the middle of what turned out to be a fairly infamous gay bathhouse in Las Vegas. Got my soda, went back, still had no fucking clue what this place was, what men did in it. Still seems small for a health club. Looking back, Uncle Alex certainly knew what kind of place we were in. He was a 16-year-old boy who had never had sex with a woman before, which I mention only to say that must have been a confusing and uncomfortable time for him. Only he could say. I'm sure he'd be happy to talk about it. I just remember him being very, very quiet and being a little bit, I don't understand why he's so quiet. You seem like you're in a really bad mood, Al. What's going on? So I don't know what was going through his head. Uncle Alex is an amazingly accepting man. I didn't see anything back then to make me think it was a homophobe of any sort. I just think it was kind of uncomfortable for a 16-year-old boy to be in those kind of surrounds, especially, and that would make it, 1980, I guess, 1980, 79, 80. Different world back then. That's the night I worked in a gay bathhouse handing out towels with no fucking idea what was going on. I'm not sure that's the entire story, so if you want to have a conversation about this later and ask me some questions, I'm happy to do it. We went out driving around looking for drugs later. I knew that was going on because they said we need to go find our drug dealer. And I was scared as shit. We went to this, it was 2-3 in the morning, and we're outside an apartment sitting in a car with the doors locked. Billy went in to get the drugs. I wasn't going to partake in the drugs. I'm almost certain Alex didn't either. But they were looking for their drugs, which at that time was probably, whatever crystal meth was back then. I don't think there was even such a thing as crystal meth in 1980. Maybe there was crank, whatever. I'm sure it wasn't just a nice chill thing like some pot. That was not Stephen's taste, and you could look at Billy, you could tell it certainly wasn't his. They weren't looking to chill out. That happened. Scared as fuck, looking around, head on a swivel in the back seat of that whatever car we had. waiting for someone to come and kill us or rob us or something, but didn't happen. Got the drugs and left. Gosh, buying beer. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more to the story. That's all I can think of right now. Anyway, that's the story you asked me today about the day your dad worked, the night and into early morning. Your dad worked a gay bathhouse window. Love you. Bye.